This is just a short recording to give you some basics of how to use the program. When you first start it up, you will have gone to this URL up here in the upper left, fam/diagram app. I'm going to go back to this screen. And so, there's buttons over here to, save your file. There's a demo program you can load. This button for saving is just to make it easy to save faster. As we'll see later on, there's a timeline function to let you, go from the earliest date to the more recent date to see how things are moving through the timeline of the family. There's a zoom slider here that you can make this screen bigger and smaller, and some other things. You can also go into help, and there's the help video, there's a help demo, and there's some documentation that explains things. But mostly, if you just do a few things, you'll be able to discover what it does. So the first thing to remember is that if you do a right click, it will pop up this menu, a right click anywhere on this white background, the canvas, and you can add a person, you can add yourself as a coach, you can add events, and you can add a general note. So for example, we could add a person, and that person would be here. And then, so that's a right click on the canvas. The next very important thing is a right click on the person object will bring up this menu of options. It also displays over on the right this properties panel for the person. You can resize that panel if you like. So right click on a person object and you can do all these different things. You can explore them, but probably what you'll want to do right away is add a partner. So you add a partner, it knows that it was a female, so it added a male partner and it put that partner to the left. And here's the relationship line. So again, if you click on that line, you can do a number of things to that relationship line, like adding children, twins, triplets, miscarriage, stillbirth, adopted child. And you can go over to you can add relationship properties. Go over to the properties bar. Just clicking on the line will do it. And then you can say, well, these people are married, and we can put in a marriage date. Let's put in 2000. That's year, month, day. You can also use a calendar picker if you want. You click on the month and it'll let you scroll through years. Just be sure to hit the save button down here, and that will establish them as being married. And then if you do a right click on the line, you can then add a child. So right click on the canvas to add a person, right click on a person to add various things, right click on a property on the relationship line to add children. So you're getting the pattern of using a right click, right? So just to explain the diagram a little bit, this is a male, obviously in a relationship with Renee, the female. They started that relationship in 2003. Don't worry too much about the dates. We can put in notes with these people. So Alex Carter has a note that has been put in, and it shows here. There is a way of hiding notes. If you want to take the notes off the screen, you can come up to settings and go to notes layers and turn that off. And otherwise you can turn it on. All the notes on here are toggled to stay on all the time for a demo. This couple has two children, Liam and Emma, and I've marked Emma again, doing a right click as I made Emma the client. And so as a client, she's got this background color to it. Emma is in a relationship with Noah. Noah has a text box to give you some more information. Now, Emma has some conflict with her mother, and so that's being shown as a relationship and emotional pattern line. And the way that you set those up are you click on a person, you hold down the shift key and click on another person, and then you do a right click. So it's click, shift, click, right click. And you can add an emotional pattern. And when you click on that, you'll get a emotional pattern box that comes up. You can pick the kind of pattern, fusion, distance, conflict, and so forth, what the status is, intensity, start, and various things and notes. You can make them different colors in order to provide more information. You can also set up a triangle. So if you click and shift click and shift click, so click, shift click by holding down the shift key, or you can just drag over a number of people, and that probably won't work because we don't have them all in. So shift, because of the pattern, shift click and shift click. And now you can do a right click again, and you'll have add triangle down here. And that then puts a triangle between the three people. It adds an emotional pattern line because there will be something for each person. You can have more than one emotional pattern line. So there's one already here between Alex and Renee, and then there's going to be something else going on, possibly because of the triangle. So as a short recap, click on a person, do a right click, you get lots of menu items. And if you need to, you've got the properties panel over on the right to fill in all kinds of details. You have relationship lines, and when you do a right click on them, you can automatically do a lot of things for them. You click on them. They have some properties as well, depending on the type of relationship, but these partner relationships will always have relationships, start, married, separation, divorce, things like that. You can add children. A child can actually be added. You can add parents to a child as well. You can remove child, you can delete people, again, hunt around. And then the other big thing is that if you can, if you want to just set up something between two people, you can do a drag over them and that'll highlight both of them. And now if you do a right click on either, you can add an emotional pattern to them. And so when you do that, let's say we want to set up Fusion, we'll just save it. It just puts that in and it tells you when it started. So drag to highlight and then do a right click and you can add an emotional pattern. So I would say that those are, oh, one other thing is that you can add functional facts to people that come out of symptoms. And so if I say, no, I want to do this with this male, I can come down here and I can add an event. And the event type can be a nodal event, a symptom event, or an emotional pattern. Generally, these are going to be symptom events rather than a birth or a death. And you have the primary person. You could have another person, start, end dates, symptom categories. So there's physical, emotional, and social symptom groups, as Bowen talked about. And then you can put in other kinds of qualities here. So this is pretty free form, but there is the idea of how intense is it from 1 to 5, how frequent might it be, and what's the impact. How well are they dealing with it? Is there, who, when, where, what, how often kind of comments you might put in and other types of events. So you can put that in and save it if you like. One last point I'll mention is that as Emma, as the client, if you do a right click, um, when you make that the client, you get this pop-up and it basically lets you fill in the presenting issues and desired outcomes and the client's conceptualization of their situation, and then you can save that. So that's client properties, and you get to that by you make a person a client, and then if you come back to that, you can call that back up. So I think that's good for an overview for now, and make sure you check out the help items. You'll find this video there. Over time, there'll be some other things. You can also find a help demo and some help documentation to explain what's going on.